It's time for you to let us know what you have had to explain to another adult when you probably shouldn't have.
To explain to an adult mate of mine that the saying is going on a wild goose chase, not going on a wild goose cheese. My brother had to explain to his ex-wife that semi-skimmed, skimmed and whole milk weren't from different types of cows. That was done after it was milked.
Oh, that's a good one.
My brother's miso is useless, but always good for a laugh. She didn't go to work one day because the power was out and she thought that her car wouldn't start because of it. She drives a petrol car, not an electric. A few months later, she comes into the house asking my brother what the genie lamp on your dashboard is for, aka the oil light. And to top it off, I had to explain fish and chips to her on several occasions. She couldn't comprehend that the fish was battered, which makes it crunchy, but they don't batter the chips to make them crunchy. Her mind was blowing. Turns out cutting a potato up at 3 a.m. and frying it was just easier than trying to explain it to that doorknob.
Oh my gosh. Savage. And I had to explain to my mate that the yellow gain to make lines on the NFL games are actually graphics, not just some dude running out with a spray can in the middle of the game. My uncle couldn't understand why they had been given a seat in a concert in the row V when his surname starts with Roberts. He thought that the row letter related to your name, and did remark there's quite a few more people in row Q than I thought would be there.
Very unusual surnames up there.
Also, his wife couldn't understand why people said you get salmonella from poisoning from chicken. She thought you got salmonella from salmon, and you got chickenella from poisoning from chicken.
Chickenella.
This from Nathan. I moved from Christchurch 12 years ago for a brief time. I got asked by people I worked with if I could feel the earthquakes inside the buildings. Then I had to teach them about how earthquakes work.
I manage my family firewood business in a Jersey suburb of New York City. My personal favourite is when a couple in their 40s, hopefully having lived in the city their entire lives and never encountered firewood before, ask me in complete and utter sincerity if all the wood that we sell comes from real trees. Another man, who may have been senile as he was about 3 years younger than Moses himself, asked me if all the firewood came from the downed telephone poles. I had a young professional in a suit once that wanted to know if the firewood had an expiration date, and and I certainly can't forget the man driving the Alfa Romeo who said he wanted to buy firewood for his fire pit. I pointed to a rack that cost $70 and told him the price, then watched him walk over to it, remove a single piece of wood, place it under his arm, and ask me where he could pay for it.
Oh, that's so good. This one here had to explain to the missus that the insurance on her car was for accidents and not just if it broke down to pay the mechanics. Up the ones. Peter Manson. I once lived with a teacher that was taking her kids' first ever sex ed classes. After she got home and told us about it, I had to inform her that they're actually called a testicle, not nuts.
I had to explain to my wife that Shetland ponies aren't baby horses.
Oh, geez, that's good.
First one here from Jay Lynch. I used to work at a pet shop while I was at uni. A woman walked into the store, went straight up to the counter and asked me, "Do you know why my goldfish died 5 years ago?"
What?
At a dinner, someone said, "That's the best fish I've ever had." And my mate who cooked it replied, "It's chicken."
Oh, this one's so good. That's not fair.
My younger brother came home from school one day and said, "Oh my gosh, the triplets in my class all have the same last name."
Yes.
What are the chances?
Someone I work with said, "What is pine? Is it timber or wood?"
Tough.
Hang on. If you know the answer to that, text it through to 3520.
Our daughters have come out with a few notable mentions. One was, "Gosh, it's quiet in here," when we'd walked into the library. And the other, while we were having hot chips on the beach for lunch, "There's too much potato in my chips."
Yes, I want all crispy. I want all the crispy stuff on the outside.
Someone said, "Yes, I understand how the generator works, but you're not understanding me. Where do I plug it in?"
Yeah, that's good.
It was my last week of work before I was leaving Australia to move to the UK. In October 20 years ago, one of the younger labourers I worked with asked me about my trip. I explained I was going over there the following week. He asked why it was going to be so cold, and I said, because it's coming into autumn over there. I will never forget his reply. Oh, so it's February over there. Two more from Renee Louise. My mother's other daughter once asked me, do I need to watch The Hobbit in order to understand the new Star Wars movie?
Oh, great.
And the final one, arguably my favourite one, from Lisa McKenzie. I ran a pub in central London and an American tourist asked me if Wales, the country, was open on Saturdays.
Like it's a big Westfield. Yeah. That's amazing. Oh, cheers, team. That's good.